أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيد الخلائق أجمعين الحبيب المصطفى أبي القاسم محمد،
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الغر الميامين، لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين، مهدي هذه الأمة وخاتم الأئمة وطاووس أهل الجنة الحجة بن الحسن العسكري، روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدم الفداء. قال الله العظيم في محكم كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله، ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
If someone all of a sudden, with no reason whatsoever, feels that his heart is out of the rhythm, like beating against its chest harder than usual, he would immediately seek a doctor's advice and start reviewing himself, that what was the reason behind it. That, am I stressed? Am I tired? Have I eaten something that risen my heartbeat? It goes to the doctors, to the hospitals, to the emergency. And the doctors, the emergency, they start investigating what's going on with him. But when it comes to the heart, that in the narration and the hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, that it's your soul, it's what drives this body. See, without reason, you don't feel that spirituality anymore and that connection when you get up for salat. Of course, salat al-subh, usually people are tired, right? Especially if they went to bed late. They know the reason behind it. Salat al-dhuhr and asr, of course, they are in a rush to finish their salat and go about their business and earn their living. But Salat al-Maghrib and Isha, if someone feels that he's disconnected, he doesn't feel that spirituality. Some people, even when they go to a haram of one of the Ma'sumeens alayhim as-salam, again, there, for them, it's like they entered a museum. They don't feel that spirituality, that connection. I know just a couple of people, maybe, when they feel like this, they start investigating that, what have I done? What's happening? But the majority, they don't. They don't care, as long as he did his salat, says, I'm tired, whatever. He just don't care much, or don't care enough to see what's wrong with his soul and with the heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about. Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi, in a hadith, he says that إِنَّ لِلْقُلُوبِ إِدْبَارًا وَإِقْبَالًا, that the hearts, they sometimes are motivated and sometimes they're not. When they are motivated, when he says that فإذا أقبلت فأحملوها على النوافل وإذا أدبرت فاقتصروا بها على الفرائض. When the heart is motivated, seeking extra thawab, right? See, when you feel that motivation inside of you, don't just let it go to waste. Use it. Read more Quran. Do more salat. And if sometimes your heart is not that motivated and disconnected, focus on your mandatory duties, the worship that you have to do. But again, what's the main reason behind people that don't seek spiritual attention and people who actually do and focus on that? Main thing is people, they care about this world more than they do in the hereafter. The hereafter, will come, but they don't focus on it. So when a person, he doesn't see that his final destination will be death, his soul will leave his body, and it doesn't matter how he looks, from what background, he will turn into dust and bones. He doesn't focus on the everlasting life. He says, let's live this life and see what happens next. But with the mu'mins, that's why you see mu'mineen usually, when they get upset, they don't get upset much about this dunya. What truly get them upset, I still remember one of the ulama was telling me a story about one of his trips, that it was really tiring. And his trips happened like when he was telling me that story, like 20 years before, like 2 decades ago. And he says that all of a sudden he paused and he says, at that day, I didn't get up for Salat Subh. I missed Salat Subh. And you could see it on his face. He was still upset about 20 years ago that he missed one Salat Subh. Missed a Salat Subh, right? You can see it in his face. But in regard of the dunya, he usually ate whatever you put in front of him. In regards of where did he live, he didn't care much. That's usually the people of the hereafter. We are the people of this dunya apparently. We focus mainly, and our main focus, just about at least make it 50-50. Right? Shift some of your focus to that world. Shift some of your attention to your soul. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says in a hadith, حرام على قلوبكم أن تعرف حلاوة الإيمان حتى تزهد في الدنيا. It's forbidden for your heart to taste the sweetness of Iman until it will become detached from this world. You will not feel that sweetness of Iman. You feel it a little bit, but the actual sweetness, you will not. And Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi wa salam alayhi in a hadith says, إِنَّ مِنْ أَعْوَدَ الْأَخْلَاقِ عَلَى الدِّينِ الزُّهْدِ فِي الدُّنْيا. What helps you in this endeavor, in this task of yours in religion, he says that the most helpful qualities for religion is detaching yourself from this dunya. Of course, we don't say that completely detach yourself from dunya. We are made of this dunya as well, right? We have needs, but don't put all your focus on this dunya. In hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says,
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
this hadith is scary because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, of course, says this. It's a hadith Qudsi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but in this hadith, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by His might and majesty and greatness. يقول الله عز وجل وعزتي وجلالي وكبريائي ونوري وعلوي وارتفاع مكاني لا يؤثر عبد هواه على هواي إلا شتت عليه أمره ولبست عليه دنياه وشغلت قلبه بها ولم آته منها إلا ما قدرت له. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by His light and majesty and greatness and exalted position. He says that no servant prefer his desire over my desire, except that I put his affairs, confined his affairs for him. I suffocate him with his worldly matters. I occupy his heart with them, and I do not give him of this world except what I have decreed for him. At the end, he focused on this dunya, he chased this dunya, he spent his time and effort on this dunya. At the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I allocated for you this in this dunya. The rest will be gone. And in completion of this hadith, وَعَزَّتِي وَجَلَالِي وَعَظَمَتِي وَنُورِي وَعُلُوِي وَارْتِفَاعِ مَكَانِي لَا يُؤْثِرُ عَبْدٌ هَوَاهُ عَلَى هَوَايَ عَلَى هَوَاهُ. That again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by His exalted position and His majesty and His light. It says, if a servant does not prefer his desire over my desire, what will happen? إلا استحفظته ملائكتي وأكفلت السماوات والأراضين رزقه وكنت له من وراء تجارة كل تاجر وأتته الدنيا وهي راغمة. That I will provide him from heavens and earth, and I am more careful about his sustenance than any merchant about his trades. And then the world comes to him humbly. When a person sees the life of Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salam alayhi, the whole world came to him humbly. And Amir al-Mu'mineen says to this world, يا دنيا طلقتك ثلاثا لا رجعة لي فيها. That I've divorced you 3 times with no returning to you. That he says to the dunya, do you want me? I'm paraphrasing, but I don't want you. He says to the dunya that, oh, those yellow ones mean gold and silver ones, right? Go fool someone else. Someone came to Amir al-Mu'mineen asking him for help. Amir al-Mu'mineen, as I recall, told his servant, I don't know if it was Qambar or not, told him that give him like he mentioned in the amount, 500 or whatever. He says, gold or silver. He says, to me they are both stone. Give him what benefits him more. Of course, we cannot reach and detach ourselves from dunya like Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullah wasalam alayhi. But sometimes when you hear this hadith, when you see this, it encourages you to pursue something that you are actually made for, and that is, inshallah, heaven. Because we have in a hadith that everybody has a price tag. Don't sell yourself for what? For hellfire. Your price tag is, and your price is just heaven. And don't be fooled.